everyone, I'm James Ratty, and I am your child's world literature teacher this year. And welcome to back to school whenever you feel like it. Maybe it's nighttime, maybe it's in the morning, who knows. But I'm happy to introduce myself to you and just talk a little bit about our class and where you can find resources and everything like that. So I'm using the Zoomies over here because that's my life now. And right, so something that I've already sent to you is our World Lit Toolkit. And these are just some things where I have some common materials available. Introduce myself. I have a co-teacher during second period, Nicole Zimbrano. There's about 20 or so co-taught sections on campus. It's just a way for teachers to interact and for students to interact with more teachers, and it really helps our teaching practice. But the big thing I just wanted to chit-chat about, since people always want to know about grades, and you can see I try to have a little bit of a sense of humor about grades. Not that I don't take grades seriously, but especially with working with sophomores, I don't want them to make grades their only sense of fulfillment in life. So about half of our class is projects. I'm a project-based teacher, which means we're always working on a big project, and it's always divided up into smaller, kind of checkpoint projects. And I'm actually going to be assigning one today. I'll talk to you about that in just a second. And I find, especially in an English class like that, it makes the most sense to kind of work in projects. It could be a portfolio, could be a research project we get into second semester, presentation, video, essay, all of it. And these are where our standards lie for English class, as it were. Our standards are really just reading, writing, speaking, and listening. I'm lucky that way. Classwork is about 35% of our grade. I mean, so we're, I would say almost always doing something in class that day, some kind of discussion, some kind of breakout room task. I'm really trying to utilize as much, let me rephrase that. I'm really trying to use technology in a manageable way. I have found that a lot of us are getting excited, which I think is great, about different websites and tools and everything along like that. But I don't want to provide too many tools to our students, because in the spring we found that they were overwhelmed by the number of different websites. So I'm really trying to limit it to just what is the most absolutely necessary. I don't give a lot of homework. Like I said, my homework is embedded into projects. So there's very usually something to do for a component of a project, but the kind of standalone homework assignments I don't give a ton of. Right, so Schoology is something that's new to almost everybody. I was one of the teachers to begin using it in January, rather luckily, because of course we didn't know that any of this was happening. So I feel really comfortable with it, and what can I tell you? I'm grading things faster than I've ever graded things before. And that's because of this learning management system and just how things come in, and I can quickly go through them. And I was not a good paper grader, just taking papers back and forth, and I don't know, I was not very good at that. So I'm updating pretty regularly. The big thing for my class that is different is that I don't use numeric grades. I only use letter grades. So the students will never see how many points they got. No, let me take that back. The students will never see a percentage grade they get on an assignment. They'll see how many points out of total points they got, right? when they go into each individual one, but they won't see a percentage numeric grade. And I'm really trying to get into this. It's about the performance, not the points on an assignment, on a project. I want them to see that, you know, if they're getting B- work on a 10-point assignment as they are on a 100-point assignment, it's not necessarily about the points. It's about the time and effort that they're putting into stuff. Of course, if a student makes an appointment with me, I will chit chat with them about a grade all they want. Maybe not all they want, but I will chit chat with them about individual grades. But it really, really is about how a student is doing just kind of overall. I use a lot of rubrics. Smaller assignments, I probably won't use a rubric, but in my directions is always kind of like what it is that, you know, students need to be doing in order to achieve maximum points. And I would say that the thing about sophomore year in general is really just not just following directions, because I've been telling them that if you follow all of the directions and you just kind of answer minimally and everything like that, that's a C. That's a C grade. So sophomores, I'm pushing to go beyond, to make connections, to think about how what we're talking about is being related to, you know, history or even science or their own lives in particular. I think that's a big thing about sophomore year, is really learning about themselves and how they see themselves in, you know, our literature or in current events or everything like that. I also don't put a total grade. I mean, so again, the students will get feedback on individual assignments. If they're getting A- on everything, it means they have an A- in the class. When it does come to the grading periods, I do send out a grade report. So the students will get like an overall, like, this is how you're doing. But I'm really just trying to encourage conversation between, you know, how they're doing, what they could be doing more of, kind of everything like that. So the big thing that we're moving into right now is our intersectionality portfolio. And this was something that the World Lit team came up with to really address a number of things that we've been seeing. This is my 8th year teaching sophomores, 8th or 9th. This is my 13th year at Homestead, my 15th year teaching overall. So, oh my God, I'm as old as my students, my teaching career. But we found that, and it's not their fault, and it's nobody's fault really, but we're trying to get our students to see big picture concepts by relating it to interperson concepts, right? So when we really go through and start to think about our identities, our race, our gender, our class, everything like that, if we are able to understand ourselves, then we're able to understand others, right? And this is major because we find that a lot of our students are naive about a number of things happening in the world. And so we're going through and we're getting them to just think about how their identities intersect with each other, how their gender influences their, you know, perception of the world. I'm really excited about this. We're reading House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros with this unit. And I also have a couple other Chicanx short stories and poems and things like that that we're reading. And the kids are going to be doing some creative writing as well. So we're going to be working on this project for about 5 weeks. As you can see, I've got due dates all along the way. And so everything's going to be nice and structured, but this is going to be a major assignment. I have 2 major assignments a semester. And then later on this semester, we're going to read Lord of the Flies, which I really get into. I think that's basically it. I mean, I already sent this home to you, so none of this is particularly new. I'm totally into extensions and stuff like that. I really do just want young people talking to me to make sure that I know what's going on. If I just see an assignment like not turned in, I don't know what's going on, right? And I'm really passionate about making this a classroom where we're thinking before we speak, where we're trying to think about other people's perspectives as also being true, that our own lived experiences aren't the only lived experience that exists in the world. And it's rough right now, and it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because obviously I care about their English development and their writing skills and their reading skills and everything like that. And I taught junior year for ever and ever, so I know exactly where they're going or where they need to be in terms of their junior year. But I also really do care about them as people, and that they're making progress to becoming like successful, not even successful, just like well-balanced young adults, right? And so we'll talk about mental health, we'll talk about organization, we'll talk about future plans. I wish they could be with me in my classroom. It feels very empty right now. But I'm happy that a lot of students already are reaching out and asking questions and saying like, hey, I'm feeling this way about chem honors, like how can I balance, like, and so, because I've been here for a while, I know what they're talking about, and I've heard it all before, right? But I just want to make sure they're okay. So I'm really trying. I think that's it. Like as focused as I am on like world literature and stuff, I think I'm more focused on them like being good and happy and well balanced and stuff like that. That's the fun part of the job. Anyway, I'm pretty communicative, especially if I start seeing like, well, rather if I don't start seeing work, or if I see a big shift in performance or something along those lines, that's when I reach out to parents. I'm always open to emails. I don't know my phone number here, so I wouldn't suggest calling it. But I do respond to emails pretty quickly. And I hope all of you are doing well as can be. I know a lot of you are working from home. And that's rough. I don't have kids. Well, I mean, I have like 140 something kids, but I don't live with any of them. And so I can't imagine what it's like trying to be both a professional and a parent at the same time. So you guys are in my thoughts a lot. I hope your student is doing okay. And it is really hard getting to know them over the Zooms, but I'm trying. And I'm just trying to keep perspective. It's just, what it is right now, and I'm not trying to place judgment on it. And I'm trying to stay curious, and I'm trying to stay optimistic. And like, what if this is like the best year ever, you know. There's a lot of evidence that says it's not, but I'm trying to keep that kind of open mindset to so that I can carry over to the kids. Anyway, holler at me if you have any further questions. And I think that's it. Really nice to quote unquote meet you, and take care. Thanks.